Hello, everyone. Welcome to live streaming, live coding with Oddball. Eyeball. I'm Tyler, and we're going to continue where we left off yesterday, making the Widget Anything app. And yesterday we got really close. We made a home screen widget for our home screen. Now I think we just need to hook it up to the screenshotter and the UI and Compose that lets you pick, which website you want to screenshot. And I think we're gonna hook it all together today, hopefully, if we have time, and actually see something working finally. All right, so let's get started here. So we've got our home screen widget updater, and this is a push updater. So whenever we call this, it's going to push out an update to the widget instead of relying on this app widget provider to pull updates and tell us when we want to update. Because we're just going to use Work Manager to do all this stuff. I mean, I think we might still have to trigger the Work Manager here to update things, but we can do that later. Cool. All right. So next step, I think we have this configure activity. And so basically this right now gets sent the ID of the app widget. And so we need to save that to a database along with which snapshot website they want to appear in the widget. So what we do here, I think we're going to remove all this, and we're gonna actually just call into our existing activity with Compose using a deep link. And this is just like a URL, a URI, deep linking into our app. And that will hopefully, let us just show our Compose UI. They click on something, and then we save that to the database here. Is that how we should do it? Let's see. Because we have this configuration activity. So we're probably just going to use this as a trampoline, what's called a trampoline activity, where it's just an activity that launches another activity, which will be the snapshots activity. And that's, this one. What do we got here? This one. Come on. Let me put it there. Oh, that's not right. So this one, we can pick our existing snapshots. We can add a new one. Maybe not the best UI right now, but I think, if we click this, we should be able to, it should just, instead of going into the edit mode, it will return the ID of the snapshot to this activity. This activity will save it to some kind of database repo with like this widget ID. And we could save it all to one repo. That's kind of not how I would like to do it, because I feel like it's cooler to have snapshots be their own repo. That's kind of like treating this as like a table in a database. So you save snapshots, they're kind of their own thing, and then you can associate like widgets or tiles or Google Home things to it. But at the same time, we could also just because I think in this UI, like if you click one of these, you probably want to edit, the widgets that, would you though? Would you want to edit the widgets here? No, because you edit those on your device that you are, right? So like on Wear, you would edit on the watch. You wouldn't edit it here, like, oh, send this thing to my watch, because you don't really have a notion of what the watch UI is going to look like on your phone. Same with the home screen widget. Like, you can't add a widget here. You have to add it from the home screen of the phone. So it makes sense to have to manage it through that interface instead of adding it here. Anyway, I don't like planning, so we're just gonna make it so we open up the screen, you click on one of these, and it saves it to a database, and that's all we need, right? Yeah, so I think what we're going to do first, we actually haven't tried this code yet. In fact, does this even work? This looks red. Update app widget, what's this mean? Why is that gone? Oh, right, because it's a weird function thing. Okay. Instead, we're going to make a, what is it called? Widget updater. Home screen widget updater. I call updater update widget, and we don't need any of these things because we got encapsulation. Cool. All right, it needs the screenshot. That's the problem. We'll get to that. What's this doing? Oh, it's a UUID? Huh? Okay. Oh, right, we don't have the ID here. All right, because this same deal here. We're not going to do anything here yet. We're just going to run this and see what happens. Try to add a widget. See if it all works out, and then we're going to do some refactoring, move some directories around, make it look a little nicer, I think. Yeah, or is that too much effort for a live stream? You guys don't want to watch me refactor, do you? No one wants to watch that. But anyway, we're going to make a new directory, package, and it's going to be called screen for home screen widget, and we're going to create a new repo for this, right? Or should we have one repo for all the different kinds of widgets? Would that make sense? Not really, because they're all going to be like different. Let's just make it screen widget repo. Yes, we're going to add it to Git. All right, well, I think it actually ran here. Oops. So what we can do here now is customize. Okay, interesting. Oh, Pixel, you piece of crap. Widgets. Yeah, we get it. Let's see. Oh, look. Here are widgets in here. And we're going to add it right here. Ba-bam. Cool. So that added this, and you can drag it along, and pretty neat, right? And you click it, and then it does something there. All right, so there's our widget. I'm just going to remove that for now. All right, so all this code works. That's great news. Great news, everyone. Anyway. We're going to rename this. We're going to make sure this has the proper name here. And all this is pretty much the same, except we're just going to change the data model here. So the new data model is, let's see, class, what is this called? Home screen widget. It's a very simple class. We have widget ID and it's actually a UUID, I think. Crazy. And then a snapshot ID, which is a snapshot ID. Okay, pretty simple. And then this is going to be called a home screen widget list. It's a list of these, blah, blah, blah. And we're just going to change everything that says snapshot. All these things here. Paste. Blah blam. Guess we can do a home screen widget ID, although maybe a little overkill. That's just in case I'm too lazy to read the documentation for widgets, so if we need to change that later, we can. Easily enough. So we'll have the widget ID, and you see here now we have all these errors here because these are wrong. Okay, widget ID. So thing here is you're never going to add one without the widget ID, right? Well, in fact, we don't even need this, right? We don't need an ID now. So update will also, should we make it null? No, it's never going to be null. We always have the widget ID, so it's never an upsert in this case. Okay. So we have this now, we have our repo. It's exactly the same in every other way. Oh, so what's interesting, I know a few episodes ago I was talking about JSON and how it uses reflection and how I wish someone would write a JSON library that does everything at compile time. And it turns out Kotlin has that built in. It's called the Kotlin serialization library. I just found out about this. So if we wanted, we could, instead of using JSON, we could use something else. We could use the serialization library, which can serialize to JSON, and I think it's a little better, probably. But since we already have JSON set up, kind of too late for that. Maybe I'll refactor this later. That could be a fun and exciting episode. Refactoring, always a fun and exciting task for any engineer, right? Not really. Okay, just looks like I should just genericize this so it's kind of a you have a general repo that can just load things from disk. So we're not going to need this type adapter probably. What we may need is a UUID type adapter. I'm not sure if JSON knows how to serialize that. First, let's check. No, see, look at it. It's an int. It's an int. It's not some UUID. I don't know where I got that idea from. See? Int. Yeah, it's an int everywhere. So this is why we use type aliases. This is just an int, bro. See, look, bam, just change it to one place. Don't have to rewrite anything else. It's kind of helpful. All right, so now we know our JSON is going to work quite easily. We don't need this type adapter. So this is a very simple repo. It's only saving like 2 IDs, and that's fine. That's all we need, whatever. So now we have our repo. Now we have our configure activity, and this is going to, yes. So this, we have this stuff. You know, we're doing this business, but we don't need to do that. Instead, we're not even going to really look at this, bindings and stuff. We don't need any of this business. We're literally just going to trampoline. So we're going to trampoline. So we have this stuff. Trampoline, we got our ID. So now we, let's see, start activity for result. Intent, this, and what is our activity here? Edit snapshots activity. Right. And I guess we need to give it some kind of deep link URI. I'm not exactly sure how this. Oh, I guess an intent. I thought we could set URI. Set data. That's what it is. So this is where our URI will go, and then we're just gonna be like, just let us choose something, okay? And then we need the result code. Choose snapshot. Well, result code, choose snapshot. Ooh, awkward. This is a interesting, sure. Head const val blah equals blah, blah, blah something. Set data. Oh. Something like that. We'll figure out what that is later. And then when we get the result, we're going to override on activity result. Okay. And we're going to check if request code equals named this wrong. Let's name this correctly, please. Request code, and then result code equals Alt OK. Now basically we can get our snapshot ID from there, which will be, you know, this intent. Get int extra, and this will be, let's see, let's go ahead and make up some constant here. Extra, what is it? Oh, snapshot ID. Right. Okay. Default 0, default value 0, instead of, like, you could just return null, you know. Actually, do they have one that just returns null? That would be nice. No, they do not. It's silly. It's very silly. -1, I guess. Or even that's because you don't know. We'll just hope. Okay. We have our snapshot ID not equal to 0. But even then, it might be okay. I mean, I've never seen a widget ID be 0, but you never know. We'll just assume that they have given us the correct thing here. So what do we have now? Now we save to our repo. So we have this repo, right? Yes. Home screen widget repo. Okay. Then we actually have to init repo equals screen widget repo this, blah blah blah, and then we repo dot update or add. Good question. I don't know how this configure activity works. I feel like this, like, can you, well, let's see, let's try it. Oops. Let's add the widget. Okay. Yep, add widget. What would you do? Okay, we have that. Now if we long click it, there's no way to configure it from there. It's a one and done deal. So we're always just going to add, which is nice for us. Snapshot ID and widget ID, right? And widget app widget ID. Blah blah blah. As home screen widget ID. What? Oh, right. Okay, we're actually doing this, huh? I don't think we need to do that. We can just have a shortcut. Because this doesn't make sense, right? No, but what if we add more stuff later? All right, we'll do it from here. Widget. No. Create a variable for me, please. Thank you. Home screen widget. Home screen widget. There we go. And you don't actually have to cast. Kotlin is smart enough to figure that out. Ba-bam. So we're done with this part, at least. So what happens is it launches, then we trampoline into our edit snapshots activity, choose a widget or create one, then that returns giving us this snapshot ID. And we save it to the repo. And then I feel like we also, the other trick here is we need to schedule the schedule the worker. We'll do that later. Schedule worker. Should we do it here? I feel like the workers are, you know, the update the update duration or update frequency is in the snapshot database. So really the worker should be checking that. And the problem is, you know, maybe the worker will just save the snapshot and then kick off another worker that checks, you know, every single kind of widget that we can create, and it checks all those repos, and then if they exist, then it updates those. So in that case, this home screen widget repo might actually be better as a generic repo for different kinds of things. We'll figure that out later. Let's create this, please. Thank you. Spell. Okay. So there we go. We got our extra key here. Now we have this nav host thing. Now this is going to be interesting because like we're loading. I feel like this somehow Compose knows how to figure out the deep link here. I think this is what calls for looking up some documentation here. Compose and other libraries? No. Type safety, navigation, something. Deep link. Create a deep link for a destination. Explicit deep link. Okay, interesting. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Nav deep link builder. I don't want a pending intent. It's weird. Set graph, set destinations. I don't have any of these because I'm using Compose. How do I do this now? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, let me guess, they're not going to tell you how to do this in Compose. What's this? Pass data between destinations. Oh, right. This is if we were using the whole navigation component, which is not helpful. Interesting. Where's Compose? Jetpack compose navigation. Oh, just jump straight into this weird. Yeah, we've already tried this. It's not helpful. Do they have deep link support? Okay, let's see here. Deep links, blah blah blah. Navigation compose supports implicit deep links. Okay, data scheme rally. Interesting. I don't really want to expose this to the outside world, though. It's weird. Now you need to actually specify your deep links by hand? Deep links. Interesting. Alright, well, we have the completed thing here. So, what is this? Where do we have our deep links? It's in this composable here. So where's our nav host? So we have composable route, blah blah blah. Okay. Snapshot editor. Actually, that's not what we want. We want the snapshot config editor here. No, we want the list screen, don't we? Maybe the list screen. Okay. So look, they have out route arguments. Oh, look. Arguments right here. Interesting. Deep links equals snap shots list deep links, and then we'll create a property on there. Which should be list of deep links. How do they do it here? What is this? Single account? What's that one? Where is that? Accounts, account screen? No. Account screen. No, this is the actual composable. Destinations. Single account. Deep links, nav deep link, and then you give it the pattern. Cool, and then this, so we don't even need this really. Root. Anything. Root. It's not helpful. Okay, interesting, I guess. Oh, okay, snapshots. Oh, that's kind of neat. Okay. So we're just using a snapshot there. That's a cool pattern, I guess. Anyway, so these are just lists. Like, where does it actually tell you to? Interesting. Okay. We're gonna have to pass something in here to like pick, you know, something. But I guess this would be a ID or something. Yeah, I still don't quite understand any of this. It's not very well explained. But anyway, we have our deep links now. And I feel like that's not it now. Now you have to like do other stuff to actually get this to work. Like, nothing's automatic. You actually have to add this manually, like some peasant. Okay. Add this manually. Yes, we are peasants here. Scheme, widget, anywhere, anything, not anywhere, anything. Widget anything. Host. Okay. Cool. We're just gonna make this a scheme. Const val scheme equals widget anything. That's our URI scheme. Let's just make that very clear. Okay. So there's that. And I feel like this, we're gonna have to take this out because we'll be able to choose different things later on if we ever get that fancy. So I mean, I don't know why this is. Anyway. The real question is, how do we like return back from the compose to, like, how do we actually return a result from compose? That's the question. We got all this part working, right? How do we actually you know, fill this out here? And for that, we take to the documentation. See, now we have this deep link thing. It's like, yeah, okay. Interesting. Arguments. Yeah, they don't explain how this works at all. Anyway. Jetpack compose set result activity for result, right? Start activity for result. How to observe this in compose? No. How do you just okay, we have to use contracts now. Launch activity and receive result. Let's see. Remember launcher for activity result. What does this mean? What? What is this? Okay. Using the launching activity for the result, blah blah blah. We no longer need to override on activity results. I don't believe you. Caves of Jetpack compose. We have remember launcher for activity result. So this is how to launch it from compose. How do we... Oh yeah, no, this is how we do it. Okay, yeah. So you do this thing, I guess. Add a contract here. Okay. So we have a contract. Just show me the end code, please. Oh wow, this is getting more complicated. Okay. It's not helpful. Trying to take picture. Okay, so we have this. Remember launcher on result. No. This is launching it. How do you send it to someone? Right? Like, how do we get the activity? I mean, does that... Nope. 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 We know all this. How do you do it the other way around, bro? Activity result caller here. Okay, that's probably what we want. Result launcher. And activity result registry. Oh my lord, they really made this complicated. Yeah, that's gonna upvote this because it seems right. I don't even know if it is. Okay. How do we do it the other way around, bro? Yes. No. It's close. Well, maybe we'll search for their API here and they'll tell us something. The docs might tell us something about this. Okay, activity result. Get a result from an activity, but how do you do the other way around, bro? Okay. Yeah, nope, they just don't tell you. Great. Thank you, Compose documentation. Really, really helpful here. Super great, helpful. maybe they'll tell us in this thing. Remember launcher for activity results, get content. Let's see, launcher, launch. What is launcher? Callback for activity results. Launch for results. Okay, we had this launch thing. Okay, this doesn't seem that hard. Receiving an activity result in a separate class. And a custom contract. Let's start result. What's this now? Register for activity result. No, this is all the other way. Okay, maybe it's this one. Allow other apps to start your activity. Intent filter, blah, blah, blah. Handle the intent. Return a result. Ugh. But how do you do it from compose? Return activity result from compose. Everyone's got like oh my god, this is what really annoys me sometimes. Like everyone and their mother, every dev influencer like writes a tutorial on how to do this thing that's basically just like, you know, rewriting the Android docs in blog form, but no one actually like thinks of like, oh, what about the other way? What if you wanted to do it the other way? Who knows? Okay. Set result. How to return value. Is this it? No. This is a very basic question. We have complicated questions. You pass and you return result from the intent. Okay. Not helpful. Result handler, still not helpful. I feel like this is just how do we get the activity? Local context current activity. Very dangerous. Local activity. Current, that's still not helpful. Find activity. Okay. It's used by Google, huh? How do they do this? Interesting. Whatever. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Yet again, we try to do something that doesn't seem that really wild or anything, but like no one has thought of maybe someone would want to do this. Okay. Okay. So the snapshots list screen. We have the backstack entry. And so in this we can tell like, oh, did they, you know, basically, okay, so if they click either of these, so if they click edit, but while we're in pick mode, we actually want to return okay. How do we get this then? This is not helpful. Okay. Context find activity. Context wrapper? What? Huh? Local context current. We'll just use that, I guess. Nope. It's not a thing. This is not a composable. Alright, come on, man. Backstack entry, maybe that has something. What does this have for us? Local owners provider. No, don't know what that is. Nav controller? Could it be in the nav controller? Can we get the context? Yes. Okay. Now, can we do something here? Navigate, pop backstack. So there's a lot of interesting things in here, actually. But it feels like context. It's probably an activity. I think that's why they have this here. Find activity here. So we have this little thing. Yes, that's what it is. Come on, import things. Okay, and then we'll just do context find activity. Find activity, and then we will set result. We can set intent, yes. Okay, yes. Okay, and then the intent will have our data in it. Set data. No, we want to set extra, right? Put extra. Extra. ID. Okay, we set a result. I actually have to put the thing here, it ID, Got that now. And now we actually, oh, you know what, let's just make this our activity here. Activity, and then activity finish. Just to test. Let's make sure we log this. Quest code, result code, data. Log it. Widget configure activity. Shorten it. Oh, look, exactly 23 characters. That's the limit. That's as many as you can have. All right, here we go. See what happens. Oh, we're still launching the login activity. I want the snapshot activity now. We're dealing with snapshots. Snappity snap. Snappity snap. Add a little more login in here in case that all worked. Let's run it again. Okay. Okay, so now we add a widget. Widget anything. We add it in here. Blam. Config. Oh, look. It launched. Now let's see what happens when I click something. It goes back. Look, we got our snapshot ID. Okay, a little bit of hacking. It all worked out. And it saved the snapshots to disk. Cool, we're all good, bro. Everything is set up now. Kind of. I mean, we need to clean this up a little because we need to basically, so, well, once we get that, we need to finish. It'll be interesting. We should probably just update it with some generic thing. First, well, we'd finish here. Finish. In fact, even if the result is not okay, we're still gonna finish because what else are we gonna do? It's like, you done fucked up. Like, I'm screwed. Can't do anything now. Okay. Alright, so we got that working. Sounds like a time for celebration of commit. Git commit. They should rename it Git celebrate, right? Widget added config activity. Launches list picker and returns result. Alright, we'll leave the cleanup for later. Basically, where are we here? This, like, you know, check URI for /pick or something, right? And then, but anyway, we got this going here. Now we can pick stuff, we save it. Now we have to schedule the workers. Larg. Is that how that works? Do we schedule it here? I think we should just run it here, right? I think when you save a snapshot, not in the repo, but above, right? When we save a snapshot in the view model, right? Does that make sense? Then the view model should kick off the worker periodically. I mean, you don't want to mix your repos with other stuff. Repo should be kind of self-contained. It just stores the data. It doesn't know what to do with the data. It doesn't schedule things. That's more the view model. The business logic goes in the view model. So you have add snapshot, update snapshot. So in these cases, we also want to schedule snapshot. Okay, but we'll do that later. What we're gonna want to do it from the configure activity, because we need to it needs to update right away, basically. So how do we do that? Schedule worker. So immediate update. Web capture worker. Oh, where did we do that before? We just set that up in the photos uploader, I think, right? No, in the activity here. Here's our work request. Okay. Probably make this its own thing at some point. Right, yes. Scratch file. Don't need no scratch file. Alright, let's just put it in here for now. We'll move it later. Nah, we'll make it now. Scratch file. Oh, right, because we were gonna maybe keep everything in here, right? Because it's kind of similar. Like let's think about this. So we have home screen widgets, have a widget ID. Wear OS tiles. Those will have a tile ID, I guess. I feel like that wouldn't even matter. I mean, if we want to be janky about it, we can just send everything. Every time anything updates, we send it to the watch. People would hate us because we would run down their battery. So if we want to be more sophisticated, we would keep a record of like, all right, the watch wants these snapshots, and whenever you send it, the watch figures it out. So if we did that, we would want to save, in the database, just a snapshot ID. And then, I mean, interesting. I wonder if you could use a sealed class here. Right, because we're saving things to a repo. They all have a snapshot and ID involved, but then they have other data of like, a home screen widget or watch ID or something, node ID, or Google Photo album, I guess. I think none of those really are that necessary. We would just save the type and then, you know, an int ID of something. So I think we can reuse this repo for just everything, just updates, the update repo, right? And then it just loads, the worker loads the updates, it runs screenshots. No, that's wrong. Still wrong. All right, well, it would basically the screenshots. We're always taking the snapshots. We schedule the snapshots to go run. They run, and then they kick off a worker to check, you know, this repo for what's connected to those snapshots and notify those listeners, basically, like, oh, we have a new snapshot, watch. We have a new snapshot, Google Photos. We have a new snapshot widget. Take it and do what you will. I think that kind of all falls under one package, so that's what I'd say. But anyway, let's just call this the snapshot work manager, I guess. Okay, and that's going to take context. And then start, schedule snapshot ID. Let's take the actual snapshot, right? And we have all this. This guy here. This we're going to make not a parameter, a field. Work manager, context, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now we have our work manager. Schedule snapshot. We're going to enqueue the web capture worker. It is going to set input data of the URL, which is snapshot.url. Really, we should just put the whole snapshot in there. This is where we could use the serializer as well. Snapshot. And the ID doesn't need an ID actually. So that does that. Oops. So where is our configure activity? So this is fine. We're gonna snapshot scheduler. That's a much better name for this. Oops. Yes, import this please, and then rename everything. Snapshot scheduler. Okay. Equals snapshot scheduler this. Okay. Now we have our scheduler. And now we don't have the snapshot in this place. So maybe we should just snapshot. Then give it the ID. The scheduler can look it up itself or something. That's annoying. We'll just have to look it up. snapshot equals snapshot repo get snapshot ID. This is awkward, but now we can just do the old snapshot repo, and this is a snapshot repo. So much boilerplate, you know. Okay, now we have the snapshot repo. And get snapshot. I guess we have to actually observe this, huh? Blocking first. That's what we want. That's the easiest way. Alright, we schedule the snapshot. Schedules that snapshot URL. Now, see, that's the thing. I think the service is going to need to look it up because someone might edit it or whatever. So we just want to give it just the ID, and it looks up things from there. All right, undo, 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 undo. Cool. Snapshot ID. Okay, and then now this is going to be web capture worker. And you know what? Actually, we can have another worker. We can keep this the same. This just captures the URL, right? It doesn't care about whatever else is going on. This just captures the URL. And snapshot. We make another worker that looks this up. And also looks up all the other things. Okay, so in that case, I think we want to do this whole chaining work together part. Okay, you can define what order things run in. Okay, work continuation. And queue. Very interesting. But can you create, does it have to be a one time? Does it make any sense? How do we schedule multiple works? That's what I don't understand. In queue unique periodic work? See, in queue. That's weird. Work continuation and queue. Yeah, so it's like they give you this cool thing where you can chain things, but you can't do it periodically. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you even write all this chaining stuff if you can't, like, If you can only do it right away, makes no sense. No sense. Begin unique work. Begin unique chains of work. No. Nope. Queue unique periodic work. Fun. Great job, work manager. Is that really? Okay, so weird. Work manager chain periodic. Yeah, you cannot chain periodic work requests. Stupid. Stupid. Oh, okay. So the official solution, you create a periodic request, and then that creates a unique chain request. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. I believe you, Google. You've thought about this a little more than I did after reading the docs for 3 minutes. So instead, we will schedule a snapshot. And that's going to actually schedule this other worker here. We can just make it part of this too. We can't do private. Snap. Snapshot worker. And we already have this web capture worker, which is a RX worker, which is great. Snapshot worker, blah blah blah, and then you get all this stuff. There's a notification manager. We don't need that yet. Create work. Do need that. Where's our scheduler here? Snapshot worker. Key snapshot ID. Right. Let's get int. Snapshot ID. Zero or something, -1 maybe, whatever. This is ID. So this schedules a snapshot. You know, unfortunately, we are still going to have to look this up, because we are going to need the duration. Okay. But anyway, this will go down here now. I don't think we have to do this, do we? Snapshot worker may do this later.
I probably should have.
Don't do that.
Oh.
And it's going to have its own work manager here. App context. And so we create a chain now. Right, so this, we're actually going to work manager begin with upload work request. How dare you? One-time work request. That's what it is. Okay. Oh, we do have the snapshot ID here. Blah, blam. Right. So it does need to look it up too. Okay. A lot of duplication here. That's kind of weird. Shot repo equals snapshot repo. And then we're going to schedule snapshot. Shot ID, and we're just going to get blocking. It's just reading from disk, so it's not that big of a deal. Snapshot. Okay, so the one-time request, or no, this is going to be the periodic request. Periodic work request. It's going to be a snapshot worker. And the duration. It's cool. Snapshot. Config, I guess. Snap interval. Look at that. We already have duration already figured out. Modern Java classes. Isn't that nice? And then this is actually snapshot worker key snapshot ID. How dare you? String. It's int, bro. Int. Okay. Okay, cool. So this starts our periodic. I think what we need is actually unique or something. Let's go back to see what's happening here. Periodic work request. Minimum interval of 15 minutes. Interesting. Okay. And queue unique periodic work. Yeah, and the unique. And then we give it a name. Snapshot. Shot ID. What else do we need here? Existing periodic work policy. And I think that is, what is it? What does this say? Cancel and read queue? Maybe? Keep, I guess? has to be periodic work request. I don't know why we're even specifying what that is. Okay, so that will schedule the snapshot. Blah blam. And then this will actually kick off the snapshots here. So this too will need a repo. And here we're going to snapshot repo, get snapshot. Okay, we do have the snapshot ID. I'm just going to return here. Dot. It's going to eventually map to success, I suppose. And then all this is going to enqueue something. It's going to do nothing. How dare you? Observable? Oh, we're going to take first. And then we are going to schedule our work. True, I guess. Alright, so now we schedule our chain here. Begin with one-time work request. And then, oh, this is the snapshot. We have the snapshot here. And then what are we going to do? Well, then after that, then we're going to, we also have to load all these other thingamajigs. Right, we have to load the widget repo. So we will also have widget repo. Widget repo, sure. Widget repo. This we will also need to look up our snapshots here. So maybe we'll make this a flat map. Flap map. Flap map. And then we're going to look up get, sure, home screen widget. Oh. For snapshot. Right? Shot ID. Okay. So now we have this. Now we return all these. Uh-oh, my sun is up. Hold on. All right, as you may have heard, my son has woken up and my wife is busy and she can't take care of him. So I'm just going to keep coding like a good father and hopefully he doesn't get into trouble. Ooh, okay. Just need to finish this thought. Right? We're getting all the widgets that correspond to this snapshot. So we're going to filter. Oh, you know what? We're actually, well, we have all the snapshots. We're going to map. We have our list. Filter by ID. And then this is returning observable of the ones that work, that have the snapshot ID. Oops, not widget ID, snapshot ID. Oh, no, that's interesting. Why? Kotlin, you should not be just letting me compare two different kind of IDs. This is maybe type A. Weren't as cool as I thought. Buddy, get to you in a minute. All right, so now we'll just get all the widgets that are associated with this snapshot. Cool. And then, so this is actually we just do a first or error, and we do a map, and we put all this stuff in there. Ba-bam. Ba-bam. And that's what we got so far. So this will take all the this will basically take one snapshot. Okay, this is cool because now this will schedule a snapshot. You know, the website will take a screenshot of the website, and then we can pass that into multiple different workers for each one of these widgets that do their thing. And so we'll create workers for each widget that will update that specific widget. And that way, if it takes time, you know, you can restart those things with the same data we already have from this work request. So that's pretty cool. And I think I think the work request can return something cooler than just a result, right? I mean, can you return values? I don't understand what is the work? What does this do? Return a single result. Success. But can you like give it something? I don't know. I don't think you can give it data to return. It just does it, and then you somehow know what the data is, I guess. Oh no. Yeah, there's the data, output data. So we would, this returns a file. I think we can do work data of, wish this worked because it would be nice. Do it the old-fashioned way. Data dot builder dot put string key file path, and then we take it absolute path build it. And there we have it. Right. So now this worker returns a path to the screenshot it just took. But let's not play with that, Kate. And now we get this, and then we, that worker passes them on to the next one, I guess. How does that work? We're done with this. Where's our worker? Then cache. And so you have input mergers. We don't need that, I don't think. It just passes it on to the next thing, I guess. Yep. Got a baby boy here. He wanted to watch me live stream.
Well,
My one viewer.
it's time to go.
Okay. All done.
I can't bring you
All right. So I think you can imagine what we do from here. We create another worker that basically uploads things. Get him out of the live stream. Too much cuteness for a programming live stream. Need to keep it professional. So you're going to do widgets. Nope, that's not right. Start one work manager. Oh, you know what? I think you can pass a list in here. Map. Does then take a list? Yes, a list. Cool. So then we just create, upload workers for each one of these widgets that will save the thing. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think we can just do that right now. It's not going to take that long. We're going to have a snapshot, a widget worker or something. Since we only have one kind of widget right now, we'll have a widget worker, screen widget worker. Okay, and that's going to also do this kind of stuff here. Okay, so great work. We don't need another work manager here because we're basically done here. So this takes a file, right? We have this key path. Oops. Oh, it is the web capture worker. File path. So that's our file. Screenshot path. Maybe. Screenshot path. Okay. And then now we have a. Do we need this? Yes. Probably yes. We're also going to have to pass in a, yeah, I don't know, what does then take? Still takes more requests. I guess you have to pass in things by hand. Possibly. Yeah, I don't know what I don't get this. Like then, what does then get? What does then pass you, right? Like how do you get the input data for this? You need some kind of, okay. Key conflicts in the merger. What is the merger? When you chain a work request instance, the output of parent work requests is passed in as input. Okay. But how do you also pass it like your own thing? Oh, right. With this, basically. Home screen widget worker. And then we're adding not the URL, but the snapshot ID, I guess. Although that's not needed, we already took the snapshot. What is needed is the widget ID. Which we know because we have the widgets here. Widget ID. This is put int. Okay. And then that should work, I think. Somehow it will get both things, I guess. It's kind of magical. Let's replace things here. Got that. Widget ID, so now we have the widget ID as well. Get int key widget ID. Zero, supposedly. And then all we need to do is we have our updater. Val widget updater screen widget updater app context. Oops. We have our updater, update widget, widget ID, and the screenshot path. Oh, it takes the file. Interesting. Right, it loads it from there or something. That's interesting. This doesn't even really need to be an Arcs worker because we're not doing anything fancy. We're not looking anything up in any repos. I figure like maybe we will at some point, so let's just do a good old single just, and then a map. We add all this stuff here. Okay. Turn true. Okay. Or really we just return result too. Success. Oops. Bam. Okay. So that is pretty simple. Like this widget one is pretty simple, but the where one is going to be more complex, right? You're sending messages to the watch, etc., like uploading files. The photos one is going to be the most complex, like that. You're uploading photos and creating albums and all this stuff. So that's going to be more complicated, but this is a good first step just to prove our architecture is nice and good. And I think now we can try seeing what happens. Of course, this isn't going to, because this is going to do periodically, and we're also going to need something to do it right away. For instance, in the configure activity, we're going to schedule it, but we also want to launch it right away. So we have this. So we have a periodic work request, but I think we also want to run one immediately. So it's kind of weird that you have to, I mean, maybe it will run immediately. Is there a option for that? Set constraints, set expedited. Zero. Right, set initial delay. Initial delay, I mean, what does initial delay default to? It'd be nice if they just told us that. We'll just see what happens here. Alright, let's play it. That is my son playing guitar. So please, follow him on Spotify. Working on his record deal now. Alright. Ba-bam. Okay. We're launching something, it's loading, blah blah blah. Now let's add the widget. Widget! Widget, 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 widget! Drag the widget. Now configure. Google. Is it doing stuff? It's capturing. It's capturing. Captured. Let's see now what happens. Still loading. It took the screenshot. Home screen widget worker is supposed to work as well, but it is not showing up. So I don't know what happened there. But I gotta go. So thanks for watching. We're pretty close here. I'm guessing this is gonna show up in 15 minutes or something. Or let's see, wait, what happened here? Widget updater. Update app widget. It's supposed to do all that stuff, so why did it not do that? Right? Maybe it didn't load the right thing, or yeah, I feel like it should have loaded that. Let's add some logging here. Add some logging. Three characters still. Cool. D date widget. Widget ID. Screenshot. should have done something. Let's try this again. Okay. Let's add another widget here. Drag it to here. Maybe it's just not big enough. Pick Google. You know, maybe it's supposed to update before we quit. That's probably what happens. Like, you need to update immediately from the config thing. Or... Alright. Alright. I gotta go. Thanks for watching. I think we're pretty close here. We're very close. Subscribe if you want to see the epic conclusion of this app and adding, getting widgets on our home screen of a website. And I probably will be uploading this code to GitHub at some point, so stay tuned for that as well. Thanks for watching.